Hello, welcome to the booth about the Moon and Mars. So we had yesterday Space Renaissance, humanities for going to space, civilian space development, and we had music, we had art, Moon, Mars yesterday. But now, Amanda, come here because I want to introduce all of you, all my astronauts. So we have a special program. It's called EuroMoonMars. It's a program to train young researchers to analyze data, to test those developed instruments, test those instruments in the field, in places on Earth that look like the Moon and Mars. And we also have a special training of astronauts. So I am with me, some astronaut, analog astronaut. So let me introduce you the commander of our EuroMoonMars Poland mission, Roxana Perrier.
Hello.
Yeah, so she is a professor of space and physics at IPSA. We have also from this MPOL campaign one, Amanda Spilky from Canada.
And we have content from Emil Fontaine.
We have Quentin from EuroMoonMars Poland too. Quentin, il y a un costume d'astronaute dans le placard. Seulement pour 10 minutes. We have also from MPOL campaign, so that's what number were you?
8.
MPOL 8. We have Serena Rotti. She's a space architect, space designer, and she spent 1 week on the moon. We have also Kiran Gautam, a space biologist, and also she was in MPOL 9? 11. Yeah. So it's like the Apollo mission. I mix them up, all of them. But okay, we have reached MPOL 11, and we are organizing some new campaign, MPOL 12 and 13 in October. We have also a series of campaigns we organize in the field. We go in the field, so we develop instruments, we test them. First we tested them at ESTEC, European Space Research and Technology Center, and then we went to a volcano that is in Germany, in Eiffel, and then we brought our equipment to Etna. Etna is a very good analog for the Moon and Mars. And we have also a base in Hawaii. Who wants to go to Hawaii? Yes, join us in the IAC base in Hawaii. We have also done some campaign in Iceland, the country of fire and ice. And we went also in South America, so Quentin l'astronaut. So, Quentin, how was it to be an astronaut in EuroMoonMars Poland?
It was a great experience. It was 2 years ago, and I had the chance to live this experiment. I was in charge of the 3D printer in the habitat. So the goal was to create a launcher directly on the moon, and the idea is to take all the samples we could collect on the moon and send them back to Earth with 100% moon-made launcher. So that was my mission.
Excellent. So you see, EuroMoonMars is to prepare us to go with all the skills that we have. So we have some scientists. They want to study the moon because the moon is a history book of the Earth, of the evolution of the solar system. We have also astronomers. They want to put a telescope on the moon. So I brought my telescope here. This is my small telescope that you will, but we have a bigger one. You can observe the cosmos from the moon, and we have also life science on the moon. We want to know how to adapt life on the moon. Eventually, we want to also to explore how we are going to establish the life support system for astronauts. So science of the moon, from the moon, on the moon. Now we have also engineers. Engineers, they come with their instrument, with their new technique, 3D printing, with various ideas, instrument engineers. And we have astronauts, so they are interdisciplinary. We have also artists, we have managers, we have business people, and people with innovative ideas. So now let's dive into the technical part. So here what you can see is the exogeoid lander. So maybe you can take some distance to see the whole beast. So this is a lander. You can see some feet here. And this was built to win $30 million. This was a prize competition called Google Lunar X Prize, where the first that could land a commercial lander on the moon would get $20 million, and then you had to move 500 meters, make a video, send it back to Earth. And so we were together with one team that with whom we built this prototype lander called ExoGeoLab. Actually, the team was called White Label Space because we didn't have the whole money to build the whole mission. So we had a white label, and then we invited the sponsor to put their own label on it, and then give us. So eventually we had white label space lander. You can see 3 feet. They are very special feet, which are articulated, and that they are going to soften the landing on the moon. We deploy a ramp with a rover, but on board the lander, we have a series of sensors. So we have power from solar power, and I tell you, even from the light from this hole, we can harvest a bit of power for our computer. Here is our solar panel. We have a power system here, and then we distribute some of the power to some of the sensors. So we have a number of radiation sensors here to measure the ultraviolet from the solar light. In general, they will be on the platform outside. We have a panoramic camera that can look at you, monitor all of you. We have also a system of sensors. This is for Earth application, so we monitor oxygen, carbon dioxide, also we monitor fire. And we have also a device to analyze samples. And okay, now to analyze samples, first we have to grab the samples. So at the beginning, after landing, we deploy our little rover here. You can see our rover. This rover is called Rover for EuroMoonMars Investigation. The nickname is Remy. Remy is a rover. Remy, how do you do? So Remy is equipped with a camera, which is articulated, and also a robotic arm that we can teleoperate. We can grab some samples. And so first we deploy it, and then we are going to go around the space hole and grab some samples from the other booth, and eventually we are going to, then we have a system where we bring a sample on a sample holder, here up, and on the sample holder we have a set of cameras, close-up camera, and even a spectrometer. So what is a spectrometer? So you can see here this spectrometer here. It's a very miniaturized spectrometer. This allows you to disperse the light, and then you can measure the fingerprint of minerals or organic compounds. And you are, so now we are going to use, I think, in real time. We are going to use in real time. No, what happens here? Okay, so what happened here? Where is my spectrometer? The spectrometer Okay, so yeah, so we are going later to measure the composition, and you can see a lot of cables. So it's just a breadboard to make some tests. Now these various instruments have been used in some of our campaigns. So we brought this to the field. We do tests, and we have also some of the instruments that we use during our EuroMoonMars campaign. And so you are all welcome to ask questions about the technical aspect. Now I will ask also my astronaut colleagues to answer the question. So maybe Amanda,
Okay.
Amanda, what did you do in Apple 1 and 2?
Hi. So I focus primarily on mission control. Since I was the founder of the Space Health Division in Montreal, Canada, my goal was to come to EMPL to run different human factors tests and also things related to psychology. So what we did is we ran a series of human factors attention tests, such as the reaction time test, mathematical memory tests, and also for correlation of factors that were related to sleep, oxygen, and how the crew was doing inside of the habitats. I was working with Quentin as well. Quentin was basically cohabitating with me for over a week. It was absolutely an amazing experience.
Good. So what's next? What result did you obtain?
So what I did see is generally across the week, our reaction time decreases for all participants. What was also noticed is that the reaction time at the end of a day is actually generally higher than at the beginning of a day. And this is perhaps due to simply tiredness, factors related to stimulation across the day. So despite having some outliers, we did see that generally people do perform better on reaction time and memory tests in mornings, at night, and less well in mornings. But also we do want to expand a little bit on the amount of people that are in that study, so it is also our plan to continue in the future.
Good. So Quentin, so what was your task for your EMPL expedition?
So for the first week I was in a mission control center, so my job was to prepare the schedule of all the astronauts inside the habitat. So this was for the first week, and my second week I was in the habitat. I was the communication officer. So the idea is just that I needed to, I was the link between the mission control center and the habitat. So if any astronauts had any trouble with part of the mission or anything like that, I need to report it to the mission control center. And then I was also in charge of the 3D printer, as I said just before. So I helped the other astronauts in the habitat to develop an aquaponic system. So I didn't do any research on it. I was just in charge to 3D model it and print it with the 3D printer. And yeah, that's it for me.
Excellent. So let's ask Commander Roxana Perrier. She was the commander of the EuroMoonMars Poland 1. So what is the interest of this campaign for training young space professionals? And how can we extend it?
Okay, so the EuroMoonMars Poland missions, annual missions that take place in Poland ever since 2020, are meant to train our future generation astronauts, scientists, and not only engineers too, in isolation environment in order to see everything that's reaction, interaction, science, management of its own feelings, its own perception. As for myself, during the first mission, I was the commander, as Professor Foing mentioned it. I was the commander of the first mission, EMPL. my main task was to manage and to take care of all the experiments that were taking place during the mission, ensure that the PIs were communicating with my animal astronauts, that the communication officer was doing his job and to communicate everything that we needed. Additionally, I was leading an experiment on the action of the high pH water on our human body. High because usually water is at 7 pH, but we tested at 9.4. It's difficult to pronounce pH water. That's a very alkaline water. And then once managed to make sure that all the tasks during one day and during the week of isolation were taken care of. Once outside, you saw Amanda and Content that were part of the second ample mission, so we switched and we became their mission control center. And during this week, I was the flight commander, and again coordinating the activities that were taking place inside the mission control center, ensure that the information from the analog astronauts were getting to our scientists and through data analysis and so on. For the future, we're on. Ample missions are to be organized in the future also. We're at 12th and 13th campaign that we're organizing for this autumn. We're searching for analog astronauts, so if you want to volunteer, contact Professor Foing or myself. We'll leave our coordinates on the chat, and come and meet us on the 11th at the IAC 2022. So
Excellent, Oksana. So we have a online real-time spectrometer, and we are going to do science now. So this spectrometer you can see here is very miniaturized, and it has flown on a CubeSat. Yeah, good man. And so we are going now to make an experiment. So at the moment, you can see, I am measuring the light from the sky. So can you see here? Okay, let's see. Here you have a measurement of the light from the sky. So maybe I need to orient it. Or I can change the exposure time, but here you can see we are in an artificial environment where we have some light from various lamp. Okay, so that's now we can also measure yourself. So let's invite Sarah. Sarah, she was also an analog astronaut in EMPOL, and we are going to measure the spectrum of Sarah. So, nice. Sarah, I propose you come here. I put the spectrometer to measure the sample on the sample holder, and you put your finger on the sample holder or your hand, or you show your hand. Put your hand. Yes. So let's see the difference. So I have a way here to check if Sarah is in good health. So let's put 3 seconds. So we are measuring the spectrum of Sarah. Did you drink alcohol, Sarah?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. So you see, you can see that okay, it's a different spectrum that we had before. Try to orient it. Okay, I'm going to cheat like this. Try to have a lot of direct light on your hand, so no shadow on your hand. So you see, put it on this side because the light comes from. Oh, we are going to give you a lot of light here. Okay. I can also put a long exposure.
Yeah.
So here you can see the spectrum from Sarah's hand, from ultraviolet. This is visible. Okay. So let's say we make a longer exposure because we don't have so. Let's,
Maybe I have.
yeah, what
I have
is
a lamp.
important is that yeah, you ensure you illuminate from the top. Yes. Yeah. Yes, you can start. Okay. So that's some of the spectrum from Sarah.
What does it say?
Yes. So you see some bands here, and some of these bands, for instance, are linked to pigments that are in Sarah's skin. There is also a special. So now let's do one calibration. I'm going to measure the spectrum overall. See? Okay, so here I overexpose. Sorry. So I'm going to measure the spectrum. I measure the spectrum of the light. Okay. It's still 1 second. It's a lot of light. How come? So you see here, I expose too long, so I saturate my detector. No good. So I'm making a smaller exposure. Yeah, okay. Here it's a small exposure, and I'm going to store this as a calibration, which gives me the level of light before it's going to be reflected on Sarah's end. So now Sarah, you can put your hand again.
Maybe
Oh, here, in front of this. You orient it like, yeah, but try to get a good level of light. Yes, excellent. Here. So let's see if it works. So it's not much exposure, so I'm going to put a bit more. Let's add some light. Yes, I'm going to put now 1 second. Okay, that's good. We start to see something. Yes.
Oh,
So
I'm
now
already
that's
done.
so you see it's different from what we had before. What happens here? We have some big absorption we didn't have before. That's due to the presence of some pigment like carotene, melanin, so that absorb. There is also here a little band that is due to oxygen. So actually, this band here, due to oxygen, we can measure the amount of oxygen
The mic.
that is under your skin. Because at this wavelength, it penetrates a bit under the skin. And that's actually the technique that we use for oximeter. You know, when you put your finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, microphone. So, okay, so let's measure the spectrum of Marmalade. Yeah, I'm going to measure all of you. So what you can do, I put it here, and then you can put a sample of your choice in front. So that's what we will do. So try to, yes, so we are measuring now. Yeah, so now we are measuring Sabine. And when you do that in detail, you can even monitor spatial imbalance in some of the. So in principle, so here for the moon, we have the spectrometer in a fixed position, always, and then up you add your sample. Now I have also a special sample I brought. I have a sample from Mars. So I'm going to measure a sample from Mars. So, okay, I unveil this sample. It has to be really, measured in a very clean condition. Oh, okay. So here is a Mars sample, a Mars bar, Mars chocolate. Let's measure then the spectrum of chocolate. Oh, you have some different, you see? We have the proof that Sarah is not made of chocolate. The spectrum of chocolate doesn't look like you. So I think that you are not made of chocolate. You can look here. So here you can measure also the sample of water. What else could we measure? We want to bring a sample. You can measure the spectrum of paper. Now look here, and I can also now I have a system where I just take the ratio between the spectrum from the sky and the spectrum of chocolate. And you see, it's you can see here the ratio of the two, right? It's a black. It's a very low reflectivity. Now you want to put your finger.
Where? Here?
Yeah, just here like this. But make it. Put your finger that there is some light coming from the sky, reflected into the entrance. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So see, so your
My finger?
Yeah, your finger. No, see with your finger. See, your finger are brighter than chocolate.
Oh wow.
Yes. And you have also some specific bands that are linked with pigment into your finger. Now let's put a sample here. I'm going to put this part, which is red. Let's measure red. What can you hold and put this in front of the entrance? In front of this little, yes? Okay, you see, there is a little slope here developing, so there is more red light than a blue light. Yes. Let's put the blue.
The blue one? Which one? The light or?
Yeah, the blue. Yeah, this blue. Put it in front. Oh, here there is more blue wavelength than red. So we can measure colors, but we can also measure the fingerprint of molecules, and we can also use that. Oh, anybody has a let's try to detect life. How can you detect life? I'm going to put a sample of life, a leaf. I put a leaf and you are going to see something extraordinary. So can you hold, I need an assistant?
I can.
Yes. Can you hold this to reflect the light in front of the entrance? But oriented it to reflect the light from the top. Put it right in front.
Because I have the camera.
Yeah, okay. I do it like this.
All
Do you
right.
see something? Okay. I do it like this. Okay, just so I have a lot of light. I measure like this. So here on this leaf, you can detect also chlorophyll, and you can also detect enhancement here on the red part. That's the way we can detect vegetation from orbit. Okay, so that was some practical experiment we can do. We could have rehearsed a bit more. But thanks for your being here. We have also some telescope we try to deploy outside. But so that's EuroMoonMars, a program to train young professionals. Oh, the microphone.
Yes.
We train young professionals through analyzing data, using instruments, bringing them in the field, and also being analog astronauts in order to prepare ourselves to move beyond the Earth, but also to learn a lot of science and technology. Thank you very much.